Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WDW Fan Zone Show. I am Stuart Sternberg, joined by Kurt and our very special guest, Christine, with a very recent trip report to tell us all about at Walt Disney World. But Christine, before we get into that and learn all about you and your trip, I just want to mention to the good folks watching and listening out there that if they want a travel planner who is the absolute best and you can forget the rest, well, that's Mouse Fan Travel. So if you're going to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, on an adventure by Disney Cruise. If you want to take a non-Disney vacation, go to a different theme park, Mouse Fan Travel's got you covered. They've got great deals going on now, and you can learn all about their specials and how their expertise can help you on your next vacation. Go to www.mousefantravel.com. That is www.mousefantravel.com. Welcome to the show, Christine. It's great to have you on here with us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here tonight.
And I know you're friends with Kurt and his family. So it's nice, Kurt. Thank you for inviting Christine to the show. So tell us a little bit about you, your family, and why you chose to go to Walt Disney World this time of year.
Well, first of all, so we love Disney, have been going for several years in a row. So we're excited to go back and see what it's like with all the new things that they've put in place since we've been there. My family is myself and my husband, and then we have 3 kids. 2 are teenagers, 17-year-old and 15-year-old, and a 10-year-old as well. So it's a different experience than when we used to go when they were younger, because there's different shifts in what we like and what we can do, even based on height at this point. So we went over spring break, took some time to go down there and try some of the new stuff.
Right. So what were some of the new things you tried?
Oh, Genie Plus was really the big item for everything, and the lightning lanes and how that all works together. Mobile food ordering, something new also to wrap our arms around this time. So those are the 2 big ones that we really took some time to try and learn and understand and concentrate and figure out the best way to make it work when you're down there and dealing with multiple people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
go ahead, Kurt.
Mobile ordering is pretty self-explanatory. However, you mentioned to me the other day that Genie Plus, not so much. Can you get a little bit more detail about that? Because none of us have tried it, and we don't know if we should or not.
Yeah, so Genie Plus was, an adventure in itself to learn and understand. So we had spent some time, looking at the Disney website and trying to figure out, okay, what rides, if you buy Genie Plus, for your family up ahead of time, are included. And then there's like the Genie Plus, right, where you have a few other rides that are a little extra money if you want to use it on those. So we kind of we spent one day at each park. So we took some time to understand which rides are under the Genie Plus, because we did buy Genie Plus for each day. And then if we wanted to buy the extra rides, which ones those were and which ones we were going to try for. So all of that in itself is a lot to know and understand and figure out. And you feel bad for anyone who has really no idea about any of it ahead of time, because we stayed at the Wilderness, which helps a little bit in our overall. We could get to the parks a little bit earlier. We were on property, so that has some extra benefits. And we just we did get up at 7:00 every morning in order to get the first round of Genie Plus reservations.
How many do they let you do at a time? Are you only allowed 1? Do they do 3?
Well, so that's where we had a little bit confusion on our end. You can get at 7 a.m., you can get 1 of the regular Genie Plus, and then you can get 1 that if you want to pay for first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. So really you can start your day off with 2 reservations. And our understanding was for the ones that aren't extra, that's the extra money per person, you could only hold 1 at a time. But as I've come back and looked into it a little more and understand a little bit more, now I understand that you can actually get multiple Genie Plus reservations as you go throughout your day. So, for example, we could get at Magic Kingdom, we could get a Genie Plus at 7 o'clock reservation in the morning for Space Mountain. And
That was
then
to pay extra, though, correct?
not right now.
Not right now? Okay.
Correct. Right now, it's one of those you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
And that's another confusing thing. So, like Mickey and Minnie's Railway in Hollywood Studios is sometimes you pay extra, but when we were down there, it wasn't a pay extra one. So
They do that. They've added some of the lightning lanes to Genie Plus because they know how crowded the parks have been lately. So
yeah, so
help us out, if you want to call it help.
Okay,
well, that's where it gets confusing too, on which ones you actually have to pay for extra for and which ones you don't.
Okay, so you made the reservation then for just Genie Plus with Space Mountain, and then you were able to make another?
Well, we ended up actually doing it with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad when we were there, and we didn't know it at the time, but we thought until we checked into that ride, we weren't able to make another reservation. But it turns out that, say the park opens at 8 o'clock that day, at 10 o'clock, I could have made another reservation, even if my Big Thunder Mountain Railroad reservation wasn't until 10:30. Because you can make a reservation 2 hours after the park opens if you made one at 7 o'clock.
Okay. And then do you have to wait? So at 10 o'clock, you can make another one. Then is it every 2 hours, or is it once you ride that attraction?
Then it's every 2 hours.
Regardless of whether you've been on the attraction, you've got the Genie Plus reservation.
Correct. So I guess they call it stacking, where you can stack up rides. So by the end of the day, you can go on multiple of these attractions right away in the lightning lanes and not have to stand in line.
Okay, so by the end of the day, I'm not doing math. You could do probably like 5 or 6 by the end of the day. Then whether you're in the park or not once you've been into the park.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's interesting too is, so say I made a reservation at 10 o'clock and my ride was at 11 o'clock. For that one that I made at 10, at 11 o'clock after I check into that ride, I could then make another one.
So as soon as you check in, you can make another one. Okay.
Yeah, so it's either 2 hours or after you check into your most recently made reservation.
Okay.
Which gets very confusing.
It kind of sounds like the way Fast Pass used to be. Yeah. Where as soon as you did your Fast Pass, you ran and got your next Fast Pass for something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I will tell you that when you go through the lightning lane, you usually have to scan right when you get into the lightning lane, and then depending on the attraction, there's another scan later on.
Right.
So oftentimes, like at Test Track, we had to scan twice. Once when we entered the lane, and then once when we get up close to the end. Don't scan a third time, because if you've already made a lightning lane reservation for something else, it'll screw up that lightning lane. So while we were waiting, we had all scanned the second time, but they didn't have space for us. So they told us to wait. So while we're standing there, we'd made another reservation for Spaceship Earth. And then they're like, oh, wait, you need to scan again. And then I had 2 people who scanned again. And I'm like, no. And of course, then we went to Spaceship Earth and we had lost our lightning lane, but they let us in.
They worked with you. Good.
Yeah. I explained what had happened, and they're like, oh yes, we know that's a problem sometimes. So just go ahead and go through. We'll make it work. And I'm like, okay.
Good.
That's good.
So after that, I quickly said to everybody, if you scan it twice, don't
done
again. I will talk to the people if needed.
Exactly. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow.
Well, and I will tell you that using the app is a huge drain on your battery. I mean,
yes,
you have to be ready with a portable charger to recharge your phone, because my phone was new and there was no way it would make it the whole day. If just checking the lightning lanes, using the app, and how much it takes up on your battery. So definitely recommend portable chargers when using
and
I'm assuming you have a Pro phone too, right?
Yeah, iPhone.
Yeah, which has a bigger battery.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
and if it's draining that battery, I can't imagine what it would do with a standard.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there were not enough charging stations in the parks,
No.
even with all their updates and renovations through the years.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even see like any charging stations, so
No.
that definitely gonna have to be on the lookout for that next time.
So, any negatives besides your incident with Test Track to having Genie Plus?
Well, I think it's just the whole confusion about it and not really sure how to use it and not wanting to mess up and lose a lightning lane reservation. And that was really hard for all of us to grasp. And the only other thing that was a little bit disappointing is we had tried to, on the day we were going to Hollywood Studios, to get the Lightning Lane, the Genie Plus, the extra one for Rise of the Resistance, and we went in at 7:00 and we thought we had it, and then it glitched out, and you just saw
Yeah,
the
The
spinning
spinning
magic
wheel of death.
circle,
Yeah.
spinning magic circle. And after a minute, we're like, oh, this isn't working.
get
This
it.
isn't happening. So we're trying to exit really quick to try and get back in. And by 7:02, you were out of luck. So we had to move on to plan B.
yeah, that's happened a lot to people since Genie Plus started in the Lightning lanes.
Now, did your time with the Lightning lanes ever change? So did it say like 10 o'clock and then go to 10:30 and then to 10:45?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You
Right.
go in, you think you're getting a lightning, at 7 a.m. We thought we were getting a lightning lane. I can't even remember for what, at like 8:40. And then when it comes through and is in your thing, it's, 2 o'clock. And they're like, oh, okay, guess we got the 2 o'clock time.
So did that ever interfere with?
So
Did
Right.
it ever interfere with dining reservations or a Genie Plus reservation?
yeah, so one of them came really close to interfering with our dining reservation.
Okay.
We actually went to our dining about 15 minutes early, and they were ready for us early. So we were able to get in early enough to eat to then,
Well, that's good.
hoof it across the park to get to our lane in time.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you said it was 2 o'clock instead of the 10 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah.
So now at 10 o'clock, you can make the extra one.
Yeah.
When you were done with that, were you able to make another one
Well,
while that
we
other one
didn't
stayed in
know-
queue?
Yeah, we didn't know about it at the time. So we were only waiting until that 2 o'clock one came and went.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
boy.
where next time we go back, now that I know that you can
That you
do
can
it,
stack?
and
Okay.
I can stack these. We're going to try that out and see how that works.
I was just hoping that even though you got the 2 o'clock one, you get in there, you try it at 10 o'clock, and now once that one's done, you can try another one
Yep.
while the other one's still in the queue. Hopefully. Okay.
That's the idea. So and that's where I think it's hard, because when you look at all the websites, it's not explained very
They don't
well.
I haven't seen anything on that.
And we were nervous that we were going to lose
Right.
the good ones that we had, and we didn't want to lose those because they sell out pretty quick. Some of those rides, you're not going to be able to get.
Right.
Do.
And we did realize too that you can only use a lightning lane once for a ride.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
And that we didn't realize at first either, because we had seen, let's go see if we can go on this ride again. And we're like, it's not letting us book. It's not letting us book. And that's when we realized, it's just once per ride.
One time.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do the standby if you want to wait for however long the standby is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you manage the crowds that were there? Because it was spring break.
Yeah, the crowds weren't that bad. We've been when it's been a lot worse. I will say that the crowds weren't bad everywhere except Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, it was packed. Every line was at least an hour. It was hot. It was very shoulder to shoulder in Hollywood Studios. Epcot wasn't that bad. You could walk around without being in a smashed area. Same with Magic Kingdom. Animal Kingdom was fine too. We didn't really have issues getting mobile orders within, a half hour of when we wanted them, or within when we were ordering. And that's kind of my judge of how crowded it is. Like if, I want to get, a Dole Whip right now, can I get one right now? Or do I have to wait 2 hours in my mobile order? And most of the items were, within a half hour of when we were looking.
Okay.
Which was nice. The last time we had gone and had done mobile ordering, you had to order like 3 hours ahead. And that was right when they had first started mobile ordering. So I think that would have been part of the problem. Although I do think it was nice this time that we went with the mobile ordering too. They have like mobile order pickup windows with numbers above them. And last time we had gone, there was like one window.
Right.
Line was, 40 people deep.
Right. Yeah. When the pandemic hit, they really spread that out, and it was only mobile ordering for a while. That's the only way you could order anything. And everything is cashless, which I think it still is.
Yeah, it is still cashless.
Well, and it was interesting. They did have people out there encouraging mobile ordering. And it looked like a couple places, it was still only mobile ordering. And they were helping people to say, okay, you have to get on the app, download the app to help through the process a little bit. Not everywhere, just some of the places. But yeah, the crowds weren't that bad. So I didn't see, I'm used to, the huge tour groups, where you see everybody in the red shirts and the people with the flags. And
they'll be there this summer.
Definitely didn't see any of those over spring break.
I love our Brazilian listeners and viewers. So I can't wait to see them in the parks, but I hope it's when I'm exiting the parks, because I know how many of them come into the parks.
I love it. I love being able to see the whole groups and know that, okay, wherever they're headed, we're going to just let them have their fun and follow up with them later.
Now, slightly off topic, but aren't you going to be basically you'll be a Chicago group in the summertime, won't you?
Yeah.
Like that? You're going to have a little flag like that?
I'm going to have maybe. I have a group of 15 headed down for some time in June, and we'll see how that goes. I feel better now after test trying the Genie Plus, understanding how that goes. We're going to be doing a little more of the child swap this time around, because we're going to have some little ones with us. We're excited for Everest to be open again. The Gardens of the Galaxy ride in Epcot. I'm really interested to see what happens in Epcot when we go down, because there's, between Frozen and Remy and Guardians, it just feels like maybe that'll all spread out some of the crowds a little bit better.
It should, but it might bring in more of a crowd too. So.
Yeah, that's where I'm nervous about which way it's really going to go.
Yeah, we missed out on the preview for Guardians of the Galaxy by 1 day.
I couldn't get through.
Anne was in the queue. She looked at it. She went to pick the date, and it was the day before we were arriving was the last day they were doing. We're like, oh, well, maybe they'll have a soft opening for us and we'll get lucky.
I would bet they will, but I don't know how soon before it officially opens.
Yeah. So your resort, Wilderness Lodge.
Yes.
Copper Creek. Beautiful.
It is. It is beautiful. Lodge. Yeah. We really enjoyed it there. We like it for how close it is, right? To multiple of the parks. It's easy to get around. Enjoyed the boat ride to Magic Kingdom.
Yes. No, I agree. I completely agree. The water bridge, the first time you go over it, it's just, that's the coolest. That was the coolest thing when I was a kid.
Yeah, we were lucky too, because our rooms had a view of Magic Kingdom and the fireworks. So we were able to see the fireworks show from afar for the first couple nights while they were going up, and get kind of a preview of everything that was happening.
Now, how was the check-in process for you and the checkout process? Was it seamless?
No, not seamless.
Oh, I'm sorry I asked.
Well, this is what was tricky about it. So we did the check-in on the app. We thought we were all good. Our Magic Bands were linked to my account. And so when we got there, we went right up to the room and we tried to use our Magic Band to open the doors, and it didn't work. You could only use our phone or the app in order to get into the room. So we did that to get into the rooms. And then I went back down to the front desk later and I said, I want our magic bands to link to our room.
Right.
I mean, it's just
it makes it easier. You got 3 kids
easier. And then, when my phone's dead because I used the app
all day long. Yeah.
I want to be able to get into the room. So they told me that the problem with the mobile check-in is if you use your phone to do the mobile check-in, it disengages it from the magic bands. So then you have to come down to the front desk to get the magic bands hooked up. And I could see this was a common problem because there were 2 other people behind me holding, the 4 magic bands in their hands with wanting to get their magic bands working for their room as well. So I think there's got to be a better way in order to do a mobile check-in and still have your magic band work for your room. And then we had 2 rooms for my group, and we were working on, okay, how can I get into both rooms? And then we had 1 room with 2 beds and another room with 1 bed, and we had the wrong people in the wrong rooms. So I had asked what I would.
You knew them at least.
And then I said, well, what I'd like to do is be able to get, my daughter's magic band to match to the room where she's staying or she's actually going to be in. And they said they couldn't do that because in order to undo the room and put on the new room, they'd have to undo the entire reservation and then remake the reservation. And they don't know if that would change the rate I was paying. It could change, and it could mess up a whole bunch of things, including the deposit I had already paid. So the solution was just to get me a key card.
Oh, that's easy. That works.
So they had a solution, but I was like, you can't just
change the band.
Change the band, and
wow.
I
think they would be able to figure that out.
Yeah,
especially when it's all under 1 reservation.
Correct.
How many times have you gone someplace and you go, oh, we have to get our supervisor, and they do a supervisor override and they get it done?
Yeah. Well, and I was like, wait, you're telling me we can't just undo this room that's linked to this band and
link it to the other room?
We can't do that. I'm like, oh.
Can't or won't.
Sometimes I don't know how to do that, so I say, I'm sorry, we can't.
Yeah, that's what I wondered too. And then I'm like, well, should I go down the next night to try my luck with someone else? And I'm like, forget it. You know what?
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. We will carry the cards with us. We lost one along the way somewhere, but whatever. Yeah, so that was tricky. Checkout was not bad. We just were able to leave and it just ran through on its own.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I did figure out early on in my Disney thing is we have one of the Chase Disney cards,
right,
and we get points. And then, you transfer it to another card. And I found out early on, go the night before you actually leave so that you can use that card. Because if you wait and they run it through, they can't go back and undo what they did to use that other card. So something that I've learned is always check out.
Yeah, we take the rewards card, and when we're buying something, we just use everything on that card.
Yeah,
because we get like almost $300 on that thing right now with all the prices and everything now. So we take that card, we use that when we're buying something, like in the store, so if you're like a snack, anything non-mobile, or if we can do that, we'll use that so that we don't have to worry and just follow regular credit
You
card.
can use your Disney rewards card for mobile ordering. You have to link it to your My Disney Experience account with your credit card, and then you can choose. You can actually pick which one you want and choose.
And
learn something every day.
Yeah,
it's not so easy, but it can be done.
It's nice having neighbors next door that work there.
Yes, it is.
That's good. I didn't know that you could put it into the account.
I didn't either. It makes sense.
Yeah, I know we did that. I don't know how we did it because we had a cast member help us. So.
That makes sense because people always get gift cards.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Here, here's $1,000 for the gift cards." People are getting $1,000 in gift cards, but they're getting all these gift cards, and then they got to be able to use them somehow besides just go to the store and buy.
Yeah, it's not straightforward where you just put it in there. There's a little trick to it, but I don't remember what it was. That's why we had a cast member help us.
Just ask your kids; they can figure it out.
Yeah, right.
I probably could.
Yeah,
Kurt's probably right up with that.
yeah.
So, well, you got to all 4 parks. Did you spend more time in one than another?
Magic Kingdom. We definitely spent the most time in Magic Kingdom, and we were lucky enough that Magic Kingdom was open until 1 a.m. the night that we did not stay till 1 a.m. because we got there when they first opened in the morning at 8 a.m. But that was definitely the one that we spent the most time in, all day, multiple meals, and spend the day in. Just the sheer amount of rides and items to go on, it takes up a good chunk of our time. And we stayed for the fireworks in the evening, so that was great.
Were you able to do any midday breaks, or did you just stay did you go commando, open to close, or?
Yeah, we stay at the park the whole day if we're going to be there. We have a hard time once we leave working up the energy to go back. So we stay there until we're done, and then we'll often leave before dinner time if we're not staying for the evening entertainment, because of that. But we did have a pretty good break at Hollywood Studios, though. We had about a 2-hour downtime where we just hung out over in the Incredibles area, waiting for a while because there was just so many people, and the lines for the rides, were an hour plus, that we thought, we'll just sit down, have some snacks, rest until the lines start to go down, the heat starts to come down, and things just open up a little bit.
Yeah, that's always best, to take a little break from the crowds, and just give your feet a chance to rest.
Yes. Well, it's interesting too, and we quickly discovered that the signage must not be great over in Hollywood Studios in the Incredible area, because it comes down to a dead end, and the number of people who you see walking down there realizing there's nothing and then coming back out is quite a few. Just taking a look, oh, there's really nothing, and coming back out. We thought that was a great place.
Meet and greet?
No, there was not even a meet and greet down there when we were there. Literally nothing.
Where is that now?
The meet and
the Incredible area. Yeah.
It's in between Toy Story Land and by Mickey and Minnie's Railway. Right when you're entering into the Toy Story area. Yeah,
there used to be a cut through, if I'm thinking about the right place, where you could go to the other side and even get into Galaxy's Edge.
Yes, and they
blocked it off.
Yeah.
So you can't get through you can't go next to alien saucers and into
yes.
Yeah.
But this is before that.
Correct.
So we're basically where we used to what's now the backside of Toy Story Midway Mania, that used to be the front entrance.
Yes.
That area there?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Over by that area, because you would see a lot of Toy Story employees coming into the buildings. I think that must be their break area.
Okay. I was going to say that was all walled off by a green wall last time we went in. You could get as far as the washrooms, and that was it. Oh, yeah. No, they had that open, and you could go back there, but there was nothing back there. They used to have, I think, Edna back there for a meet and greet, and Mr. Incredible and a few other people, but up above was Luxo. The lamp would come out and bounce around a little bit, and then he went back away.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a little area there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was right next to where they used to have a gift shop down below. If you look at it, there was one area that just came out. There was 2 folding doors that would open up.
Okay.
And then he'd come out and he'd look around and do his thing, and then he'd turn around and go back in.
And then go back in.
Yeah.
I do have to say, one of the nicest cast members that I ran into while I was down there was at Hollywood Studios. While I was there getting a snack, I had walked over and, had gotten a funnel cake, and I had a daughter getting some ice cream. And then I went to go, at the funnel cake place, I was trying to get a Coke, and they're like, oh, if you get that drink here, you can't have a lid on it. And I'm like, well, I'd really like a lid. So I walked around and found a little, like popcorn cart, and they had like the actual 20-ounce bottles. And I went to go pay and use my Magic Band. Of course, I didn't bring my purse or anything else at this because I was just grabbing some treats and then headed back to the family. And I scanned my Magic Band, and she's like, oh, it didn't go through. And I'm like, okay. So scanned it again. She's like, oh, I'm really sorry. We're having a really hard time with the Magic Bands. For some reason, our connection is down. It's not working right. I said, well, let me try one more time. And she's like, well, do you have any other sort of form of payment? Because and I'm like, no. I'm like, I guess I won't take my drink. And then she gave it to me for free. So I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, that is really nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was like, really? And I said, well, I'll go grab, my wallet and come back. And she's like, no, don't even worry about it. She goes, it's not your fault that the Magic Band and the systems and everything else isn't working. So the one thing that I do like is in the app, you can immediately go in and like thank a cast member, or there's a spot where you can say, hey, I had a really good interaction with someone. So went right in and put her name in and exactly where she was, and, just took care of me when she could have easily said, you're out of luck. So I thought that was,
that was great.
Disney.
That's a magic moment that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And and I wish there were more of them than they have now, but at least they still have them, which is great.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you get to see any of the parades?
We did. We saw one of the cavalcades, or did I say it right?
Yes.
The little parades, right? In Magic Kingdom. We were walking around and we were about to head over to Tom Sawyer Island, and then just, out of nowhere came these two floats, and, the Disney people having people separate and holding them back, and they came right by. And I think that's one of the things that I like that they've implemented is these just little surprise parades that, you don't have to stake out a spot or hold your area, but you could still get a chance to see Mickey and Minnie and wave to them as they go by. So that was another really good experience.
I agree. Yeah, that's something I like that came out of their need for not being able to let people just stand there forever.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's more interaction because you're not stuck waiting there for 3 hours and then someone stand in front of you at the last second.
Yes.
You're where you are is where you are, and people just.
And it passes by, and 5-10 minutes later, you're on your way again.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can move right on to the next thing.
What's the longest you had to wait for an attraction?
Oh, good question. What was the longest one? Oh, man. We were pretty lucky. I guess I would say Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Okay. The posted time was 95 minutes, but we only waited 45.
That's good.
So that was the biggest variance.
Disparity,
from posted to what we waited. Remy, we went first thing in the morning, like literally we were there when the park opened, went straight back to Remy, but we were at the front entrance, not by the Skyliner entrance. And I believe we waited an hour, somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour for that one.
That's about average there.
Yeah. So that one was another long one. Rise of the Resistance, I think, was probably our longest because we didn't get the Genie Plus. That's another one. We were there right when the park opened and went straight back to that attraction. And I think we waited 75 minutes for that one.
Did you find there was a log jam because they were letting all the lightning lanes in that situation?
Not so much first thing in the morning. Okay. Definitely later on, once things had started moving and filling up, you could feel the line stop and come to a stop.
Right.
And
Please
then
hold
you knew
while we let everyone else through.
what was
Yeah.
happening.
An hour later,
Yeah.
continue to hold, please.
Okay, you can go again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So the
Uh,
lines weren't bad. Last time we went before lightning lanes were implemented, I will tell you, Flight of Passage, we waited over 2 hours for, and that was brutal.
wow.
So I shouldn't tell you that with the week they reopened, that we wrote it twice, and we literally just kept going. We could have kept going if we wanted to.
No, I will tell you, we had to take a bathroom break in the middle of our our wait because it was so long.
Yeah.
It was so long.
So when you need the placeholder, can I get a cast member to hold my spot right here?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where you do the child swap.
Yes.
Yes.
People are pretty good about that. All you got to do is say, "Hey, bathroom break. Sorry, bathroom."
Yeah.
And when you got a larger party, they get it. They see you going out. They see you coming in. So because it's not the whole group going.
Yeah, they do understand. It's like when you see there's one person in front of you and they're not with anybody. It's like, okay, how many people are going to join this person in about half hour?
Yeah,
exactly.
You see them all texting each other back and forth.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I would say too, we were pretty lucky this trip with weather. We had no significant weather delays, which is huge because so many attractions can get shut down when there's lightning or bad wind or rain. So we were very lucky with that we did not have any bad weather. And we only actually had one ride that broke down when we were in the lane or waiting for it.
Right.
And that was Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster. We were
I heard about that.
literally
right there.
Next in line to get into the car.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
It does. And it was our lightning lane too. So
yeah,
we were like, are you kidding me? We see where we're supposed to, like, literally we're the next group to get parsed out into the thing. So they were really good though. They gave everyone who was right there, a free lightning lane to any ride that you could use during the day, except for, I believe, Flight of Passage and Slinky Dog. So it was pretty. We used it to go back once they reopened to that ride.
Yeah.
I was asking that if it reopened.
Yeah. Stuart, to put it in perspective, her husband texted me right at that point, and all it said was, "It starts, ... And I went, oh no.
Yeah. Last time we were at Hollywood Studios, we had a really terrible experience. So we were very nervous that this was going to kick it off again. But luckily that was the only one that broke for us.
Yeah, they had a good time. They had a good time. So
go ahead, Kurt.
No, did your son get all his badges in Animal Kingdom?
Yes. It is the first time that he was a wilderness explorer, and we got every single stamp, every single circle and sticker, and we went to all the different required places, and none of the different places didn't have someone. So he became a full wilderness explorer this trip for the first time.
That's awesome.
That was good.
We also hit every country in Epcot, and he got his little passport for every country in Epcot as well. It's the first time ever that we have managed to do both items in the same trip.
And how did his sisters hold up during all of that?
They didn't. They bailed. They bailed. Yeah. They went and sat down, and I got to go with him and do all the trekking to all the different areas.
Well, I knew one was hanging out with your husband because they were watching the kites go around.
Yes.
But I thought the other one was still with you for most of that time.
She came with us out to the conservation Rafiki's planet, and then after that she was done. And she didn't want to do the long trails.
Oh, okay. So I'd rather do the long trails.
Yeah.
Is there any? How is Rafiki's Planet Watch? Is it worth an adult going out there, or is it more of just a petting zoo now?
No, it's worth it.
Yeah, they had a really cool drawing lesson that was happening when we were out there, and we were there in the middle of it, so we didn't do the drawing lesson, but we walked behind the people who were doing the drawing lesson, and all of them had amazing looking pictures that they had drawn. So whether you were an adult or a kid, like they were drawing Pluto, and it looked
cool.
like Pluto. Like I was like,
okay,
man, look at how good all these people are doing. So I think that is an amazing experience if you get a chance to do it.
Retired animators at their best. Here, come on, let me teach you to draw.
You can find Joe Rody there on Mondays and Wednesdays.
There you go.
No. Only kidding. Was there one particular day that stood out above the others in terms of fun factor?
Oh, good question. Oh man, we had so many different highlights, but I circle back to Magic Kingdom. It's the one that has a little bit of something for everyone, right? You have the roller coasters, and then you have the iconic, smaller rides that, you still got to do the teacups no matter how old you are. You have, Buzz Lightyear, where you can go and try and be a galactic hero. There's so many different things for whatever you like there. And the lines, you don't feel like you're always in line like you do at some of the other parks. So that one was amazing. I do have to tell you that we did the, at Animal Kingdom, that stands out to me is we went on the truck and did the safari. And it was a little bit later in the morning, maybe like 10 o'clock or so, but the animals were so active while we were out there. And the white rhino, they crossed right in front of us. They stopped our truck. Then the baby white rhino was there and came up and wanted to touch the truck and literally stood right under.
That is cool.
It was amazing, simply amazing. And I can hear the driver saying, "Okay, rhinos, you're going to just have to back up a little bit." So we had to stop. We were there for a good 5 minutes, just watching the baby rhino and the other two white rhinos, because they were in our way and we couldn't move. So that was an amazing experience. And the ostrich wanted to come after our truck. So we also had ostrich interactions.
I was going to say, it's usually the ostrich that stands there and they're like, you have to excuse the ostrich. Their brain is the size of a pea.
Yeah, like he wanted to just run with us, and that was crazy. And the giraffes were literally right by the side of the truck too. So that ride and that experience and the ability to see so many animals up close was amazing.
Yeah, it's gotten much better over the years. I remember when Kilimanjaro Safari first opened, you were lucky if you'd see any animals there.
Oh.
They were all hiding because they just weren't used to the environment. Now they're all out. They're all around. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I remember the first month when they were open that they had Big Red laying over on the side.
Yeah, Big Red.
And you're like, is that supposed to be a live animal over there? Or is that one supposed to be not with us anymore? But we saved Little Red, so Little Red was good. Little Red was in the back of the truck. So yeah, they had to change that right away. There were too many parents complaining because kids were crying because Big Red had passed away on the side of the.
Oh man!
They didn't know. They thought it was a real elephant.
Oh
So,
man!
They've changed that a lot.
Yeah.
Much better interaction now. They won't run them over. They just sit there and wait.
Yeah. So I mean, just that was a real magic moment, I think, for us just to be so close. But and we really enjoyed the fireworks at Magic Kingdom, and the new show and how all that was put together. And I will tell you, though, that is one of the most crowded spots that I've been in since COVID has happened. And it was a little unnerving just not being used to that type of environment. That is, people are staking out their spots there an hour and a half, 2 hours before the fireworks. And, they're directing traffic, the cast members. And that is one spot where if you are uncomfortable being close to people, you do not want to stay for the fireworks in the main street area.
Yeah. We've watched the fireworks show back by the hub when you enter the park.
Okay.
By the
Yes.
train
The flag
station.
hub. Yeah.
It's crowded there. However, you have a little more breathing room there. And you can see everything going on down Main Street as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. I did not expect the show to continue down Main Street, and that was it. It was great. It was great. Another really good moment.
In Epcot, did you get to see the fireworks show there?
We did not. We did not stay for the fireworks. I'd like to see hopefully
Harmonious.
the fireworks this time around because I've heard good things about it, and I would love to catch up to that one again.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get to see it on the next trip. It's well worth it.
I haven't seen that. I can give you a trip report on that one, Christine.
Perfect.
I have not seen that yet.
Good. We did see the kite tail shows
Yes.
during the day, and I guess I had assumed that it was the same show multiple times, but it's not. Depending what time you go, it's based on different movies.
Mhm.
So I thought that was a nice little perk that you could see it multiple times and see different shows each time.
There's 3, isn't there? I know.
They're actually changing that. There's going to be, I believe, shorter shows, but I think 6 shows per day.
So I know one of them was Lion King, but I can't remember what the other ones were.
Yeah, one was the Jungle Book.
Yes.
I don't remember what the others are, though.
I don't remember what the third one is.
I saw the Lion King one, so that was the one that I had seen when we were sitting down. But it was really neat, and they're not long. They're only like I was 15 minutes or so it was great. But it was a different type of show than what I've seen before at Animal Kingdom, so that was nice, very nice.
I know your husband liked the crashing of the kites.
Yes, when they're done and when
they're done, they're done. Boom.
There's no turning back.
Yeah, Zazu face plant. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
Yep.
Good times.
And now you're back to work.
I keep thinking the one thing that I'd like to see come back that isn't back yet is the character meet and greets at the meals, right? So we went to Crystal Palace and it's back to buffet, which was nice too, because that means we had the soft serve ice cream, which is a household favorite.
Yep.
And before there was not the soft serve ice cream. So that was good, but it's not quite the same without Pooh walking around and Tigger and Piglet. So it felt a little bit empty without the characters being there. So that's the one thing that I'd like to hopefully comes back sooner rather than later is the characters in those type of environments.
I think they will. I think they'll be back.
I thought I'd read that the regular meet and greets, they were interacting again now.
Yeah.
So,
you can hug characters again. Let's see how long that lasts.
So hopefully that means likewise that in the dining ones, that'll soon enough, knock on wood.
You know what has not come back yet? And I'm surprised it has not come back yet. Voyage of the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's still closed.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to return.
Yeah, I know they're redoing or reimagining, refurbishing, however you want to call it, the one in California Adventure. But we haven't heard anything here other than it's just closed.
Right.
So hopefully that'll come back soon.
And I don't think the Nemo show is open yet either, right?
That's being reimagined.
Yeah, that's being right. They're going to have a new show there. That should be opening, I believe, in the fall.
Okay.
And the Tumble Monkeys are returning.
Yes, that's the summer.
Yeah,
Tumble Monkeys. And there was another scene that was coming back to the Lion King show this summer. I forgot.
Is she flying again? I don't know if she's not flying yet.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mentioned it on our news show this past week or the week before, and I just can't remember. When you get to my age, it's normal not to remember things.
Yeah. I'm excited when we go back that we can actually stand next to the characters again.
Yes.
I am disappointed though, because the Hoop-de-Doo review was coming back, I saw, and the first show is when we're done at Disney. So we're going to miss it because we can't do it that day because half my group is leaving. And
No.
so I'm like, one day we're missing it by.
I feel your pain. One day, same thing. Oh, now you after your Animal Kingdom excursion, made your way over to another park. How was that? Compare and contrast. You visited some Universal park, I believe.
We did. We followed up Disney with 2 days at Universal. Universal was definitely less crowded than Disney, I will tell you that. And Universal's line management is not as good as Disney's. For their larger rides, I much prefer how Disney, where the end of the line is, where you need to be.
Right.
They keep it moving, and there it was a little more tricky with hit or miss with that. So that there's good and bad about both, right? And that's one of the trickier parts for us.
There was no one standing at the end saying line starts here.
No, they were standing in the middle of the line that said line starts here.
Oh,
so you have to continue on down past the sign to figure out where you actually needed to be. But half the people didn't do that. They were, it was kind of a mess. Whereas at Disney, even when that line for Rise of the Resistance is backed all the way up past Muppets, I mean, there are people there guiding you, and you know exactly where you need to be. So I appreciate the effort that takes to rally that number of individuals, especially with Remy, right? So Remy, you are going all around, you're crossing walkways, and there's people there to tell you where to go and make sure people know where the entrance is. So definitely better line management for the longer lines at Disney.
That's good.
How about the food? Disney compared to Universal? And then we'll just get back to Disney's food.
Yeah, Disney's much better. Disney's much better than Universal, hands down. Hands down. There's not even a competition.
Are the costs similar?
It's more expensive at Disney, I think.
Yeah.
But they both, have the refillable drinks that you can get. So that's similar. But, Universal's you can fill up at the parks and the hotels, and Disney's really more just at the hotels. So that's a little bit of a difference. But popcorn is better at Disney. the refillable popcorn bucket at Disney's a better deal.
Right.
But that's the other thing that I'm surprised I was surprised wasn't a little bit back more fully at Disney. In some of the restaurants we were in, you could tell that they weren't up to full capacity yet. There was a lot of open tables, not as many servers. So I think that's one area where I think Disney, you can tell, is still working to fully come up to full capacity.
Yeah, and that makes it difficult because there are a lot of people, including me, who like to go to the parks, not make dining reservations, and find a dining reservation or a place to dine while you're there. And you're right, they just don't have the staff now to handle that.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who were trying to get into places where we had reservations, and they were just turning them away and saying, I'm sorry, we can't take any walk-ins. We have no space for any walk-ins. You can go do a mobile order at these different locations. And and that's another tricky thing, right? The reservations, because as we're walking, I heard one family next to me saying, oh, maybe for tomorrow's day, we can figure out this dining reservation thing and make a dining reservation. And I felt like,
2 months ago, you should have done that.
Yes. Right?
60 days out. 60 days out. You got an email 60 days out telling you it's time to make your dining reservations.
Yeah. And I thought, I'm not bursting that bubble. I'm just going to
just walk away.
Maybe there'll be something you can do. I don't know.
Okay. Favorite quick service versus favorite table service on this trip?
Favorite quick service is definitely in Animal Kingdom, the dinosaur area.
Okay.
The Dino Digs or something.
No. Wait, is it? You know what? I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of it. I ate there
Ah.
recently too. Well,
Yeah.
I say
Yeah, we all
recently, I
did.
mean within the last 6 months.
Now we're all looking.
Down, in Animal Kingdom, it's got like a little
Yes,
log
it used to be
cabin.
a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite quick service. Everybody in my family finds things there that they like to eat. They'll eat it. Their fries were fantastic.
Restaurantosaurus.
That's
Yes,
it.
that's
Yes.
You
You're
know,
right.
Have you tried, what is it? I can't pronounce it. Satuli's Canteen in Pandora?
it. No, we have not.
Try that place.
Okay.
Different.
Yeah.
It's good. They
Right.
have these little Bayo
Bowls.
cheeseburger thingies. So it's like this dough around a cheeseburger. It's really, really good. It's almost like you're eating a cheeseburger on bread, but they're like the little Bayo ball things, whatever they call those.
Yeah, I think they have these noodle bowls there.
The noodle bowls are good.
Yeah, it's different, but it's pretty darn good.
And then I would say, as a second follow-up to quick service, my kids really enjoy the grilled cheese and tomato soup over in Toy Story Land.
Really?
Really? I always wondered how that was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's always so stinking hot. The last thing I want to do is eat hot tomato soup.
Yeah, I know.
I know, but the grilled cheese was very good. So recommend that as well as that.
Got it.
Haven't tried it yet.
My favorite sit down. That's a tricky one because I have a lot of different types of favorites.
Don't get time.
Probably it wouldn't be an Animal Kingdom. In Epcot, I really like Coral Reef Restaurant.
Great view.
Mm-hmm.
I love the view. I like the steak there.
Have you tried the pizza at Via Napoli yet?
No.
Oh,
I have
it's like
not.
Stuart's saying that because it's basically the best pizza in Florida.
It's it's the best pizza in the world. I grew up in New York, lived in New Jersey for quite some time. We had great pizza there, but Via Napoli pizza, I'll take that any day of the week.
My wife was actually in Napoli, Italy, and I asked her because she had pizza. I go, "What did it taste like?" And she goes, "Just like the pizza in Via Napoli."
Do you know where they get the water from for their pizza at Via Napoli?
No, where?
Swamps of Newark, New Jersey. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, really? Because
Wasn't it somewhere up in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they do truck the water in because the Florida water just isn't good. It's too minerally. We'll just leave it at that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. They actually truck it in from way up north.
Yep. Comes from PA.
And I do recommend the Regal Eagle. It's a counter service. If you like, around here would be, I would relate it to like Mission Barbecue.
Okay.
If you've ever been there.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Definitely.
I do like the sci-fi restaurant in Hollywood Studios.
Our co-host who loves that place is not with us tonight.
John's not here tonight.
He's in Las Vegas, so hopefully he won't watch this show. But no, we're not fans.
Stuart and I are like,
that was like one of the best burger and fries I've ever had, and the milkshake.
Nobody's denying that the food isn't good. It's just not priced right for what you're getting.
Yeah, it should be priced as the counter service price then.
It should.
Because it's basically a counter service burger.
Right, it's the Backlot Express burger.
Right. But
it's good burger. I don't know. I went there and I'm like,
burger.
this is the best burger I've had in Disney.
And you know what? Go to the Backlot Express. I won't say it's the best burger, but it's on par with what you get at the Sci-Fi.
Okay.
The burger that was right there at Wilderness Lodge was a really good burger too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think we had dinner at all at Wilderness Lodge this time. We went to the Whispering Canyon for dinner one night.
Yes, your first night. Yes,
and we had
that was close. Yes. Oh my gosh, I got a picture of that. How many bottles of ketchup were there?
I think
it had to be close to a dozen.
I think we had like 30 bottles of ketchup. It was everywhere. We couldn't wait for someone else to ask for ketchup. That's for sure. Oh,
And
good stuff though.
and if you order
That's right.
refills of soda, the glass keeps getting bigger. The mason jars keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yes. There was one guy at a table next to us who was celebrating his birthday. So they came over and sang happy birthday, and then the waitress just ate his cupcake for him and said she was going to just enjoy it. So, and then left like just the crumbs for him.
That's awesome.
Oh, jeez.
Disney needs to do more of that stuff, especially
Yes.
at 50s prime time. They have to get back to like really insulting people.
Yes.
Really doing the yelling.
Yeah.
What was nice, we went to Mama Melrose for lunch one day, and the waitress came in and she's like, it looks so different in here, because they had literally the night before we were there, they had taken down all the plastic dividers. So
Yeah.
everything is starting to open up a little bit, and it looks just better open, without
Right.
plastic everywhere. And it really makes it. You don't think it makes a difference until it's gone, and then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is the ambiance of where
Yes. Yes. The what is it? The Three Caballeros attraction over in
Mexico.
in Mexico and
Mexico.
Epcot. They had dividers in that thing, and I swear there were people walking through there sideways because it just felt so confined. It's like I don't know if I can squeeze through this, because it was literally right on top of each other.
They were still up when we were there. They were still up.
The dividers take away from certain things, but they do serve a purpose.
Right. Right, especially that that's always been tight to begin with. You just, because it's so much taller, you just feel so much tighter. And it's not, the lane is the same width as it was every other time. It just gets you claustrophobic.
Yep. Yeah, it does, but we'll see what happens there. I think they are taking most, if not all of them down.
It's starting now.
If they haven't already, I think they're going to get to it.
It's a lot. It's a lot to undo from what they did do. So that just takes time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Snacks. Did you partake in any of the Disney treats along the way?
Oh, we take part in all the snacks. We go churros, funnel cake, Mickey bars, popcorn, pretzels. I had the 50th anniversary It's a Small World cupcake.
Oh, nice.
Which is, if you want a sugar rush, then you need to get that cupcake.
No, I didn't hear you mention Dole Whip.
Dole Whip, yes.
Chris had something different. His Dole Whip, it wasn't a standard pineapple Dole Whip.
Raspberry? We had raspberry Dole Whip too.
Yeah, and I think each month they have a flavor of the month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so we got a couple of raspberries, a couple of pineapples. That was good. My youngest got just a vanilla one, which had a little taste of pineapple in it too. So I don't know, but it was good. I mean, it's all good.
Did you get any of the souvenir? Either the souvenir, the tiki. They have a tiki bowl and a tiki mug.
We did no tiki bowls or tiki mugs for us this trip. Yeah. Chris did accidentally order some sort of an Animal Kingdom little thing that his drink came in. He just wanted like a lemonade or something and got some fancy drink. It was good, he said. He just didn't expect the souvenir cup with it.
Did he keep the cup? I got to ask him for a picture of the cup now.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. We have the cup. We kept the cup. It came home with us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are great souvenirs.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have our popcorn bucket. Going to take it back again. Fill it up again. But you can't beat on a hot day a Mickey bar. I'm telling you, there's something about it there that just encompasses everything about Disney.
There are two places where Mickey bars taste better than they do from the supermarket. One is in Disney, well, three places: Disney World, Disneyland, and Disney Cruise Line. The chocolate's thicker for some reason than what you get in the supermarkets.
I think the Mickey bars are a third bigger, even at the parks, than they are that you get in the. Because like if you buy them at Jewel, they're more about the size of a dilly bar.
Okay.
Yeah,
versus a peanut butter parfait for the ones you get in the Magic Kingdom.
I'll tell you, they sell out so fast from the supermarkets down here.
They're sitting on the shelf up here.
Oh, I love them. They're so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, they are. But I recommend if anybody's coming down here, don't buy them in the supermarket. Get them at the parks.
Get them at the
Go
park.
to the
It's
park.
different. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good food.
Souvenirs. Did you bring home? Did you frequent the Disney stores there?
Oh, we always frequent those Disney stores. How can you resist? So my youngest has gotten into pin collecting.
Yes.
So we are collecting the pins. He's got a good number that he likes. He's on the lookout for a certain Splash Mountain pin that he says is extremely rare and hard to find.
Kurt, do you have one?
I have a pin that I'm going to have to bring over to your son.
He might even trade you for it.
It's a pin. It was given to cast members at Epcot during the Millennium Celebration.
Oh.
And I got one from someone that my wife or that my mom knew down in Florida, and he has since passed away. And his partner gave me a lot of his collection. All of a sudden, I've got 3 of these things now, and I really don't need 3 of these pins. But yeah, it's a hand in hand. It's Mickey with a hand in front of Spaceship Earth.
Oh.
It's cast member exclusive, and you just can't find them now.
Man,
So
yeah. The pins, so we have to stop, at all the little trading blocks to see if there's anything special. So we do pins, normally a shirt or a sweatshirt. When we were down there last time, we got the yellow sweatshirt that you see people wear with the Disney logo. So we got a couple of shirts this time around. No new ears this time. One of my daughters really likes to get the different ears.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 3 or 4 pairs of those, but no new ears this time.
Wow.
A new keychain was purchased as well.
Yeah.
So just a lot of good new things to help recognize this trip compared to some of our other trips.
I'm curious, was it the 15-year-old or the 17-year-old that bought the keychain?
It was the 10-year-old for his teacher who loves Disney at work, or for his teacher at school.
He's in 5th grade?
4th grade.
4th grade?
Yeah.
Ooh, I wonder which teacher that is.
Yeah.
I might know that teacher.
So we did that. What else I thought there was something else big that we got. Oh, we bought a Disney Game of Life that they have down there.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes, we're big Game of Life fans, so seeing that was a must-have.
So where do you end up instead of a retirement home? Or do you end in like the Magic Kingdom? Or
I think the park, but I'll have to go back and look and see. It's got to be Magic Kingdom, right?
The Haunted Mansion with the Widow Bride.
You're gonna get I'm sure you'll get married over at the wedding pavilion.
Yeah.
But then I'm interested how they do the whole you gain 2 more kids thing.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to send a picture of
Disney
it.
Game of Life, yeah.
Yeah, very cute, very cute. So
Cool.
that was a key purchase this time.
Good.
There was something else I wanted to ask, and I can't remember what it was now. It's just like this happens to me every show.
Yep.
How's the stamina? Now, again, you've been going as they're getting older and older and older.
Yeah.
Are you noticing better stamina?
Yes.
What was the most number of miles you walked in a day?
I think 11 or 12 miles at Magic Kingdom.
That was
our most.
That was our most?
That was our most. And I think it was our most. Our least was 9 miles at I think probably Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom?
Yeah.
Usually the most is Epcot because you got the walking in from the parking lot now because trams aren't running, and then walking all the way to the back, all the way around, all the way back.
We were lucky at Epcot. We got in the 2nd row because we were there so early. So we had a very short parking lot walk.
Yeah.
He's still I was stalling for you, Stuart.
Yeah, I know. I still can't.
I do have to say, I'm excited when we go back because one thing we did not do this trip that we do enjoy is the new Skyliners.
Oh, you didn't get to do that?
Oh,
yeah.
That is an attraction in itself.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's like a whole ride that you get to enjoy.
Yes.
So that we will be doing the Skyliners when we go back in June, and we're very excited about that part of it.
No, I have not been in the Riviera yet. However, I think this trip, because my family hasn't, or my wife has been on the Skyliner, but my sister and my sons haven't been on there yet. And I think I'm purposely going to say, like on the day we're in Epcot, come on, let's just hop on this thing, go over to Riviera and look at it,
and come back,
and then come back.
Yeah, it's a nice hotel, really nice. Of all your children, who's the biggest Disney fan?
Tough call. Probably my middle one right now.
That was going to be my guess.
15-year-old. Yeah, the one with the ears. They all love Disney. Like, they all watch all Disney related, and they each have different things that they like most. Like, my son loves Star Wars, right? So anything Star Wars, and it's got to be the dark side. He doesn't like the good part of it. He likes the bad part of it, the stormtroopers. And my oldest, she's so good with like directions and where things are and knowing exactly what it links to and how it comes from. But my middle one has the most overall knowledge, I would say, about everything Disney, from the songs to the parks to the, she just, like, I ask her a question and she'll come back to me right away with the answer that I need. So I have built-in search engines, is what I'm saying.
I'll take the blame for that because little precursor history here. I used to drive her kids to school. So, and we'd have to go from school to school to school to school because I was, at the time, I happened to be a bus driver. And I used to bring these back. And her and her sister would literally sit there and they'd open them up and we'd play Where in the World. And they had to find them. And we would sit there for a good 45 minutes every day. And they're searching for him and searching for him and searching for him. And yeah, she was good. She was really good.
I'll tell you. If I say, what's the quickest way to get over here? They're like, oh, you just do. And I'm like, okay, I'm following.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep. So I never got to do that with the youngest, unfortunately. I left before he really started with that. But the older two, it was keeping the kids from being bored, and they were into it. They were good.
Although I do have to tell you that the one thing I do miss with them being older is the stroller, right? The stroller was the best catch-all for anything you didn't want to carry all day.
You're right.
Hang on there, yeah.
So I do miss the stroller situation a little bit.
You might get a few looks with a 10-year-old sitting in the stroller. Yes. He'd enjoy it. I know he'd enjoy it. Yeah, but you'd get some looks there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to get the double one. My son is 3 years older than my daughter. And even when he was 8 years old and could walk around, we still would get the double stroller just to put them both in there.
Yeah, right? Because it's just sometimes easier.
Yep.
Well, we just talked. We're walking 9, 10, 11, 12 miles a day. That's a lot of mileage for little kids if they're not active.
That's a lot of miles.
That's a lot of miles even if you're active.
Well, this is true too. Hence we literally would come back for a 2-hour nap in the afternoon and then go back out.
See what happens though is we get sucked in and then we're like, oh, we can go to the pool and then you're in the pool and then you don't want to leave the pool and man.
Yeah, is there anything that you wanted to do while you were at Walt Disney World that for whatever reason it just never happened?
Yeah, what I really want. Well, so what I really wanted to do was Slinky Dog Dash and the lines, and it was out of commission for a while. We did not get to Slinky Dog Dash because I just didn't want to wait 2 hours. No. And you couldn't get a lightning lane. So no matter what, I'm doing that our next trip because that was one thing that I want to do. And I didn't even realize it until after we left. Like I didn't do like Winnie the Pooh in Magic Kingdom. Somehow that never got on our list. Or Dumbo even this last time. So that's another one that we did. But we did other things that we did Jungle Cruise at night. And I'd never done that one at night.
Yes.
Like a ride almost.
Yes.
A different experience.
Yes, because that light comes on. You don't see anything. And all of a sudden that light goes right on top of what it is he's talking about. You're like, how did I not notice that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was definitely a cool thing that we did that we, that kind of got moved up. And And I'm going to be honest, we've never done Hall of Presidents. This was our first time doing Hall of Presidents.
And laugh.
It was nothing that I expected.
I heard about that one too.
But yeah, so just a few of those rides. I want to make sure we get in our next time around for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And that's the great thing about Walt Disney World. No matter how much you do, there's always some things you're going to miss, which gives you a reason to come back and do it again.
Yep.
Yeah. And I keep doing Splash Mountain, right? Because I keep hearing that they're going to change it and it's going to be different at some point.
Yeah.
So we keep making sure it's a priority, so we get it before it changes or before it's out of commission for a certain amount of time for the redo. And we've been lucky enough that it's still what there. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. When they reopened, there were lines over at the gift shop for all the plush. Because the people were going in and buying like bags upon bags upon bags of those. They weren't limiting how much the plush was because this is it. It's going to close.
Yep.
So they're buying the plush and they were selling it on Fleabay and at exorbitant prices. And people were like, don't worry, it's not going anywhere yet. And the stuffed animals will come back. It's just people trying to make money. Making a penny off of something he shouldn't be.
I'm very thankful they have limited a lot of their merchandise to two, so it cuts down on the eBayers.
Yeah, and there's a lot of signs that I noticed this time in the shops that say that limit this many of these items. So they're definitely watching those purchases and what you're buying in each location.
Now I think. An added benefit to this is that it helps curtail what the eBayers are doing, but I think it's because they just can't get product.
Right?
Yeah. Well, funny you say that because I was looking at the Magic Band selection, and I thought that I was looking in the wrong spot for where to buy Magic Bands because there's so few selections out there.
There's a lot they can't get in.
Yeah. And then I realized that, no, this is the right spot. They just, only have, less than 12 or whatever to choose from right now because they just don't have the product.
Yeah. It's gotten so bad that Disney had to make an announcement to say, hey, sorry, but, the supply chain is broken and we're limited.
Yeah. Which blows my mind that the Magic Band selection is limited. That's what you're promoting people to use.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, I mean, for a while I'd heard they were thinking about going more towards using your smartphone for all of that. But you already brought it up. Their app is burning out your battery. You still got to get on an attraction with an empty battery. What are you going to do? Yeah. They're going to plug into you and go, oh, yeah, there it is. Here's my attraction. Here's my fast pass or lightning pass.
This was the first trip that I did see people more using their phones for it. In previous trips, I don't think I can even remember more than one or, like a singular person, but there were multiple parties that were using their phone for their Magic Band or for getting on rides, which was the first time I'd seen that.
And you're back using your index finger on your, when you're entering the parks again, aren't you?
Correct.
Yeah, that's been there for a while.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yep. And less security, not less security, but less bag searching. It felt like when you were going through security in the parks.
Correct.
It was more just of a walkthrough rather than every bag gets looked through and searched.
That's that special metal detector thing they got you going through now is checking it all out for you instead, which is so
nice. That's
so.
Great. I'm glad they put those in.
Yes. Yep. Make sure you hold your umbrella far out in front of you.
They told us to put it over our head.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We often, and my daughter's glasses case also has to come out of her bag. Yes. It was setting off so she walks like this with her umbrella and her glasses case through. And that's how we get through. The things you learn, as you go through the different days.
Well.
All right. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Anything else you want to add before we do, though, Christine? That you haven't mentioned that you'd like to?
Well, thank you for having me. I love talking about Disney and our trips and our experiences. So I appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Oh, it was great having you on here and to tell us all about it. I'm down here, so it's nice to hear a different perspective.
And I want to hear, after the 15 of you guys go, what that experience is going to be like.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back for that.
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you I'm a little bit nervous because, I've got little kids like 3 and 5-year-olds. I've got teenagers. I've got, my own age. And then I have my parents going as well. So we have like full spectrum.
Definitely watch out for your parents.
Yep.
It's going to, oh man, I'm trying to get everybody what they want. And it's going to be, something's going to go wrong at some point. I'm sure of it.
Luckily, you have a couple people in your family that can help you plan some of that out.
Yeah. Hey, we signed up for dining in 2 days, guys. 2 days. So.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. All right, Christine, I hope you and your family have a very happy holiday.
Thank you.
I want to wish all listeners and viewers a very happy holiday, no matter what you're celebrating. And until next time, be safe. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.